What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. This is episode 13 of SupForce Live with our featured creator, Amped. I am so happy to have you all here today. I am glad we are back. It feels like it's been a while, but it's only been a week. But it still feels like it's been forever for some reason. But I appreciate everybody out there hanging out. I appreciate you all being here. Just to give a little background, SupForce is a multi-platform streaming support community. No matter what content you create, no matter what platform, we are there for you. Whether it be Twitch, whether it be DLive, Mixer, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever it is, wherever you create your content, whether you're a streamer, a makeup artist, you do photography, you do modeling, although I don't know anybody who can be a better model than Rabble, but I'm sure there are out there. We will support you no matter what platform you are. If you're interested and want to find a home and where we consider ourselves family, we are a tight-knit group. We are very much on the rise and out there in full force. Make sure you click. Somebody put the link out there, supportforce.co, supportforce.ca, supportforce.info. Click on the link, read up on us, join our Discord. You will not be sorry. Trust me on that. We will help you achieve your goals. Thank you so much, Brose. Thank you, Kels. Appreciate it, QP. Remember, guys, SupForce. We are the supporters of all things content creation. Remember to hashtag support the support. On to the agenda at hand. We are here to get to know a little bit more, to get to know a lot more about our featured creator for the next 2 weeks. This man has, you see him on podcasts, on other people's podcasts, you'll see him streaming. I watched him play Apex with Spectre the other day. He is an awesome dude. I am super pumped to get to know him better. Please, please, please put your hands together, virtually, of course, to our featured creator of the month, Amped.
Hello, Internet.
How you doing today, buddy?
Good. Sorry, that took us like I was clapping for myself.
Well, I'm sure we had lots of virtual ovation of applause out there for you.
I could feel it.
See, there's Brose. He's giving you the nut, so that's how happy he is.
Love you, Brose.
So, sir, how are you today? I hope you had a great day today.
Doing great. I worked today and did the dad thing.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I still do the dad thing, but far away since my daughter is in college. But, I understand exactly where you're coming from. Did the work thing today. Been a long 3 days because we were doing extra time after work, so I was pretty much working 12-hour days.
Oof.
But it's all good. It was for the greater good of our company to achieve some things that just can't get done during the day. You're in the IT business too, and knowing that when your customers are off hours, that's usually the best time to get stuff done.
many 2:00 in the morning upgrades.
Yes, exactly. Well, Amp, we're here to celebrate you and to get to know you a little bit better, being our featured creator. Why don't you go ahead and take a minute and tell the people a little bit about yourself, and then we can get into some discussions.
Oh, about me. So as you mentioned, I am an IT guy. I've been a computer nerd since way back in the day with my Tandy 1000 TX. I'm happily married. I got 4 kids. I am a multiples dad because I have a set of triplets.
Ooh.
So they are 5, and my oldest son is 8. 2 boys, 2 girls. We have 2 cats. And as far as content goes, a little less than a year ago, I decided to start recording my Overwatch competitive play because I was trying to get better. And I slipped and fell on a button that connected OBS to Twitch and just tried the Twitch thing for a while. I was like, oh, this is kind of fun. Since then, I've started my own podcast where we talk about comic books, TV shows, movies, anything kind of like super nerdy with my friend Ryan. And we do that twice a month on a Monday. And then recently, I've also been on a couple podcasts for a local radio DJ. His name's Smitty. So I've been doing that stuff for content and then hanging out and supporting the SupForce whenever I can.
Nice, nice, nice. Well, we're ecstatic to have you a part of the family. As I said, we are a family. We help each other out. Uh, you you sit there and mention that where I don't want you to get into specifics, but like what state are you in?
I'm in Michigan. I live very close to Spectre.
Oh, okay, so you're out there with him. Okay, we
Like I
actually
could drive over to his house right now and beat him up if I had to.
ah. Well, it would have been really funny if all of a sudden he would have drove over to your house, and next thing you know, we just see
He
his
comes
head
running in
peek.
this door over
He
here.
just
It's
peeks
gonna be
his
real
head
funny.
from the corner. No, that's awesome. We actually have quite a Michigan force in Support Force. I think
Yep.
because you got me, you, Spectre, Crown,
Straight.
yep, and then my buddy Roger, who's in your Big Raj. He's in Support Force. He's from here. Cater Tot, she's from Michigan. So that's like at least 7. I'm sure we got more than that. The Brose says throw a cactus at Spectre. It would just be
Don't wanna
nice
hit the
to
horses.
one day you just need to sneak into his stream right before he's about to sit down. Just put a cactus right under his chair. Then he can really go cactus.
Yep.
But yeah, we got a lot of people from Michigan in Support for us, which is awesome. So let's talk about your first. I want to talk about your first foray into gaming.
Sure.
What was your first experience? Like, how old were you? What was your first system?
1985 or 6. I was 4 or 5, and we had a Nintendo NES.
Nice.
I take that back. My first gaming was my uncle's Pong machine, but we didn't own that. I just would
Right.
go over to his house and we'd play Pong. I don't remember if that was on Atari. It was an old school Pong machine, but it was Pong. I remember that. And then we had
Nice.
an NES, and then Sega Genesis, Nintendo 64, and then I was in line at some place called Funko Land. I don't think those exist anymore for an Xbox.
I
when they
remember.
first came out.
I remember Funko Land.
Saved up my Burger King dollars when I worked there to buy my first Xbox, and then I got heavy into PCs. I've always built my own machines, but
Mhm.
it wasn't until after my Xbox I built like an actual gaming rig, and I've been back and forth between the Xbox and my gaming PCs ever since.
Right. Now when you talk about Funko Land, it makes me remember. Wasn't it like the big 3 were Funko Land? Then there was Babbage's. Babbage's was another one. This is before GameStop. And then before it was EB Games, I believe it was Electronics Boutique, which is what EB stood for. And then
Maybe.
and then all of them came together to get EB Games and then into GameStop. So
We are quite in the middle of nowhere, so like the fact that we had a Funko Land was quite impressive, I thought. So I'd never been in any other
Right.
store besides that.
yeah, you're up there in the Great White North almost.
Yep.
You might as well be in Canada.
Yeah.
So you spoke about that you did competitive Overwatch. When did you get into that right away, or did you start playing the game and then decide you wanted to play competitive? Or
When I say competitive, I mean I played comp. So
Okay.
I didn't get on a team or anything.
Right.
I played the first. I don't know how much time it is, but I'm like level 100 and something on the Xbox.
Okay.
And then I switched over to the PC, and now I have a couple hundred levels on the PC, and I've played in plat. But I was just kind of like, I was suffering. It was hard to get out of gold. I've been up into plat, and I was like, all right, how do I take my skills to the next level? Because it's a big team-based game, and unfortunately, there's only so much you can do. But you got to do the best you can to try to make up for all the other people on the team.
Right.
If they're not pulling their weight. And so I was trying to figure out how I could do better. And so I installed OBS to start recording my streams.
Right.
And I don't have like a ton of space on my hard drive at the time. So I was like, I joked that I tripped and found the button, but I purposely started streaming them to Twitch because it'll record the VODs and I could voice over. The equipment I have was actually from a podcast project that never got off the ground. So I already had this stuff sitting here, and I was like, well, it gives me an excuse to use my soundboard and my mic and camera and stuff.
Right.
And so I decided I'd just record myself so I could go back and review that stuff.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I mean, you got it there, and might as well use it.
Yep.
What was your first experience into streaming? Like, how long ago was it?
It'll be a year in February 25th.
Okay.
And then it was just kind of a part-time thing. Like I said, when I play Overwatch, I would record it.
Right.
And then over the summer, I kind of got away from it. I would just do it here and there, and I kind of dropped Overwatch because they had some silly patches and goats became a thing, and
Right.
I was kind of disenchanted with the game. And then September I think I came back and decided, all right, maybe I'll just do some streaming. And I'd been talking to Spectre because he's been doing it for a while, and he was like, hey, you should join this group. And I did, and it's been fantastic. One of the best things I've ever done, which is SupForce, in case anybody's not paying attention. A handful of weeks after that, I pushed real hard and got affiliated. And then here I am. I've just been trying to come up with new and interesting content and improve the quality of my stream.
Nice. So, taking a break from gaming, let's say you're away. Let's take gaming out of the equation, okay, completely. What does Amp like to do for fun?
Well, I'm a big computer nerd, so tinkering around with computers is always good, but I get enough of that at work. I'm a big comic book nerd, so these are some of the books I've been talking about on the podcast, and I have if you're a real collector, this probably isn't a lot, but I have like 5,000 to 6,000 comic books upstairs in the closet. So I tend to go through a lot of these. I try to read some books. I watch a lot of movies, general stuff like that.
What's your prized possession in your comic book collection?
Prized? I had to say there's a web of Spider-Man #1 back there, but that's not super gravy. But there's this alternate cover of Wolverine Origins signed by the Joe Quesada and Daniel Way.
Oh,
I have these signed. The book's not worth like a ton, but the fact that I was able to get these signed was pretty cool. And Joe Quesada is like super famous when it comes to comic books. So this is probably my #1 favorite. My most worth comic is not a ton, but it's called Lois Lane, or Girlfriend of Superman, Lois Lane or something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's worth like $70, but it's just because it's old.
Right. Good condition too.
It's an okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I found it in some box somewhere somebody was throwing away. I was like, nope, zoinks.
Once upon a time, I used to collect comic books when I was in high school. And I think my prized possession was I had the limited edition complete series of Howard the Duck.
Oh, sure.
And then I also had the first 4 of, I want to say it was the third, I don't know if it was the third or the second incarnation of the Flash. So It was #1, but it was #1 through 4.
Like
but it
volume
was
2 or something.
Yeah, it wasn't like the #1
yeah.
or anything like that. We're not going
Sure.
back to Action Comics or anything like that.
Right.
But no, I can appreciate, some people are like, oh, you just collect those. And I'm like, no, I can appreciate the fact of, there's no difference than, somebody collecting those than somebody collecting first editions of, books,
Sure.
In that way. So it's what your passion is and it's what you like. Now, a question for me is, I see you got all the comic books. I see you got superhero characters on the wall and everything. Who is your superhero character that you love the most? Like, if I had to tell you to pick, well, let's say we'll tell you, pick the top 3.
Top 3.
Top 3.
All right. Well, they're actually on my wall. So my original first love is Spider-Man. So he'll probably always forever be my favorite. I'm a big Batman fan. And then I was way ahead of the Deadpool craze before anybody. So it's hard to see them, but there's like 6 Deadpool statues in there.
Right.
So I remember when Rob Liefeld pretty much introduced Deadpool as a character, and I just loved him, the Merc with the mouth, from forever. So he's probably my number 3.
Holy shit, Crown with the 32 viewer hosts.
Holy
Thank you so much, Crown, for that. This is awesome. We get a lot more. Yes, big hype. I think that deserves not just that hype. That deserves the freaking Toad hype. Let's go.
Yes.
We're going crazy. Thank you so much, bro. Really appreciate that. That is amazing. For those of you who are just joining in, if you don't know, we are SupForce, and we are talking to our featured creator, Amped. He is our featured creator that we picked for the next 2 weeks. So remember, if you're in SupForce, you support Amped on anything that he does, whether it be YouTube, Twitch, anything, watch videos of his. You get an extra 25% boost in our chat for XP for following him and supporting his content. So make sure you check out everything. And we'll get Brose or QP, if one of you two can put Amp's links in the chat, I'd greatly appreciate it too as well. Yeah, dude. We are on the front page vicariously through Crown. So
thank you, Crown.
So
Let's get it. Let's go.
You talked about that, your 3 are Spider-Man, Batman, and Deadpool. So I got questions about all 3 of those for you.
Oh, no.
Spider-Man movie. Who is your favorite Spider-Man? Garfield, Toby, or Tom?
Ooh, I got to stick with Toby. So the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2 is still the God tier Spider-Man movie. It's just hands down. But I love the new ones, too. They're fun.
I think, in my mind, from what I've seen, because I'm not, deep into Spider-Man, I'm sure like you are, but from what I've seen and read on the limited stuff that I have, I really like Tom, and I think he captures, Peter Parker, quite good.
Yeah, he is probably a better Peter Parker.
Right.
My only problem with the new ones is Spider-Man is portrayed more as like Iron Man Jr. than a standalone like actual Iron Man character, and they kind of messed with his story. I think they're doing a good job of it. I really enjoy the latest 2 films and his stint in Winter Soldier and Avengers. But if you want true, honest to good Spider-Man, for me, it's the original Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi movies, Tobey Maguire.
Well, the whole portrayal of Doc Ock, too, in that movie was awesome,
It's
I thought.
amazing.
I thought they did such a good job with that.
Yep.
And I really was disappointed in 3.
Oh, yeah, that was a dumpster fire.
Yeah, the way...
So back then, your 2 big Marvel movies were the X-Men franchise, and their number 2 is God tier as well.
Right.
So it's probably one of my favorites is 1 and then 2. But their third one was a complete dumpster fire, and so was Spider-Man 3. They're like almost like don't even watch them.
So we talked about that. So now we got to move on to Batman. Okay.
Sure.
So we are definitely going to take Val Kilmer and George Clooney out of the equation completely.
Oh yeah, they're on the list.
Okay. So Keaton, and we're going to take Affleck out. So Keaton or Bale.
That is super hard. Keaton is my Batman though. Like for
yes.
sure.
Yes.
That first Batman movie just was, and the Joker, what's the name? Played like that Joker is amazing as well.
Nicholson.
Yes, absolutely. Like just absolute. The stylization is just out of this world for that movie, and it's a brilliant portrayal of Batman. But I will say the Christian Bale movies are absolutely fantastic. Obviously, Heath Ledger's Joker is insane, like literally, and it's hard to choose between them. But just because of the age I was at when the first Batman came out, and just how much I love that movie, I got to pick Keaton as my Batman.
I love it. And what's funny is, I don't know if did you ever see the movie Neighbors with Zac Efron and not Jonah Hill. Oh my God, why am I blanking out? Seth Rogen. Yeah.
Yes.
When they're in the backyard talking about Batman, and they were going back and forth between Christian Bale and Michael Keaton. And
I don't remember the specifics, but I do kind of remember the
and they kept going back about, I'm Batman. And it's like, no, I'm Batman. It's like, no, Keaton is Batman. But I think like the whole Christopher Nolan movies and the Tim Burton movies are like their own separate entities. I don't think you can really compare them.
They're both amazing film creators. Like the new Tenet movie that is coming out.
Oh, I cannot wait for that movie.
That looks insane, and I'm super stoked. So yeah, they're not the same, and they're both amazing in their own ways.
I never saw Dunkirk. I wanted to see it, but I was like, my daughter went and saw it because Harry Styles was in it. So she was just like, I gotta see it for that.
That's fair.
I'm like, you're gonna go see him for maybe 10 minutes of a 3-hour movie, okay?
A war movie.
Yeah, and she was like, yeah, there wasn't much talking in it. I'm like, yeah, because it's just war. But like Inception, like I love that movie. I love that movie so much. I mean,
it's amazing.
Even back to his earlier stuff with Memento was just amazing.
That is way up on my list of movies. That's one that I love throwing at people because a lot of people have not seen it.
Oh, yeah.
You absolutely got to watch
it. If you've never seen Memento, please go out and watch it.
Stick it through the end because it's really hard to watch until the end.
It's a complete mind fuck. It really is, because you really got to pay attention.
Yep.
The basis of the movie is the guy has to relive memories, and he just like gets to a certain point, and then he's got to reverse all the way back, and then he's got to go all the way further and just go a little bit more. And that's just how the movie keeps going until you get the whole thing. And it was brilliantly done. It really was. But yes, Tenet with Denzel's kid in it.
Yeah, I'm super stoked.
It's going to be awesome. It really, really is. So now to Deadpool. Are you satisfied with what Ryan Reynolds did with the Deadpool movie?
Oh, absolutely. I think they're fantastic. Ryan Reynolds is a hero, like in real life, because he is the one that drove that entire project. So like he was they haven't confirmed this, but he's the one that basically leaked the footage from the. So Fox suppressed the movie. Where's it going to make it? They had done test footage. It was all CG. I don't know if everybody remembers this, but one of the halls of Comic-Con leaked this footage, and it's pretty much known that he did it, even though he won't admit it. And so he drove that home, and I think he's done an absolute excellent job, portraying that character. If you look at the evolution of that character through time, it's not necessarily quite what he was originally, but what he's become and what everybody's loved in the comic books, he nails it. Just absolutely nails it.
I mean, to be able to do that character in this day and age, and with the climate the way it is, it's pretty amazing to be able to get away. I don't want to say get away, because I think that's wrong, but just to be able to do what he's done with the character, is amazing. I did love the fact too that there was a petition going out for people to sign to have Deadpool take over Stan Lee's cameos in the movies, which I think that would be amazing if they could do that.
And somewhat canon. There are weird times where Deadpool breaks the fourth wall and shows up in weird places he's not supposed to show up. But I think that actually would work. And to be honest, I don't know. The question would be did he do a good job with Deadpool? But can you think of any other person that possibly could have played Deadpool as an actor? I can't think of a single person that would have done it better.
Well, that's like them talking, and I was going to get into more of this, but we'll just start it now, is the fact that, they're going to bring the X-Men into the MCU, fully, and, they're going to bring Fantastic Four, which I am so excited to get a real Fantastic Four movie and have it out of Fox's hands and let them do it. Because this last one, I'm sorry, I like Michael B. Jordan in that. That was an abomination of a movie.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was so terrible. I enjoyed the first one with Michael Chiklis' thing and all that. It was great, but it still wasn't what it should have been. And I cannot wait to see what they do with that. But the fact that they're talking about recasting, getting somebody to play Wolverine, and I know it's going to be the MCU version of Wolverine in that, I don't know who they get to play him.
I don't either.
Because he is... Oh my God, he has cemented that character so much that it's just you can't see anybody else playing it.
I mean, I have a little faith just because of how good the Marvel movies have been and how well they've taken care of their own characters now that they have control over them, that hopefully they'll do something good. But yeah, that is a challenge. And I think because they haven't really announced the release dates for any of the X-Men stuff. So I think they're going to wait as long in the cycle as possible to kind of distance themselves from the previous movies for as long as possible before they try it again.
Right.
But yeah, that's a challenge. And if they ever have to redo Iron Man, good luck too, because Junior there is 100% Tony Stark. So
I don't think they made a bad decision. I don't think they made a bad decision on who they've picked for any character, honestly.
Yeah, they've done great.
Rebel says John Cena. No. John Cena cannot play Wolverine.
No, I'm in. I'm in for that. I want to see it. Let's go, Marvel.
No, he's too big.
So was what's his name? Wolverine's only 5'4" in real life, and he was 6'4" or something. So
did you hear the rumors about who they originally wanted to play Wolverine?
I don't think so.
Danny DeVito. I kid you not. That was he was on their short list of who they wanted to play because he was short. He was what they wanted for that, but he couldn't.
That would have been awful.
He didn't want to do the work to get into shape for that. And I was just like, oh, no way.
I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah, there's no way you can see that. I mean, I remember sitting there and watching Logan, and basically seeing everything come to an end with that. And I was just like, this sucks. Like, I was depressed walking out of that movie, not because the movie was bad, just because you just realize it's over at that point.
So
like,
that's
he's
how
done.
good that movie is. Like, it was that good.
Yeah. I mean, that, and okay, spoiler alert, and if you haven't seen Endgame yet, damn you, okay? Go crawl back under the rock that you were in. But the whole scene with Downey at the end was just, I was just like, oh.
The scene after that where they're at the wake or whatever.
Oh, and the hologram of him?
Yeah, and then like everybody's standing in the yard. What's funny is when those actors showed up to shoot that scene, they told them it was for a wedding scene. That's why they were all dressed up. They didn't even.
I didn't know that
scene was being shot for, because they didn't want to spoil the ending. So none of the actors knew when they're standing there all looking like dressed up and looking that way. They were all told it was for something else.
Right. That's crazy. I didn't know that part.
Tom Holland has a quib about that on some. I don't know. I saw some video online with him, and he was like, "Yeah, they told me this was for a wedding, so I wore a suit." And
right. That's just nuts. And it was cool to see all the different characters from all across it all, and it really was an amazing end to that story arc too. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do from here on out, because you hear tons of rumors and that of what they're going to do, and I don't know. I hope that they continue on the trek that they've been, and we're not going to be disappointed.
It'll be a little weird because they got to bring it back down to earth, right? Like you can't build on top,
right?
You can't jump the shark any more than Endgame did with the size and scope. So it's like, I'm excited to see them bring it down to like some really tight knit stories and introduce some new people. I'm excited for the Black Widow movie to finally come out. I'm really excited for the redo of Blade, which is going to be weird because Wesley Snipes was a good Blade, but I'm really excited to see that remake. So it'll be neat to get some really nice, tight package stories again.
There was rumors that they were going to have Wesley come back and play Whistler, which I think that would be kind of a cool
homage. He probably needs the money.
Yeah. That's why he did Dolomite with Eddie Murphy. No, I'm excited for that movie too, because I loved Blade, and I honestly thought him and Steven Dorff in the first Blade movie were amazing with that chemistry. Up. Oh, that definitely does. I think it was a great movie. That, and like I said, the Fantastic Four movie, when they get that all together, I hope that. I know he's going to get in somewhere, but I cannot wait to see what happens, whether it's Marvel, whether it's DC. But I know Keanu is going to get in there somewhere. They're going to get him in one of these movies, and it's just a matter of who's going to get him first. Because I heard, Moon Knight is MCU, right? Because I think is he DC?
Is it? No, MCU. You're right. Yes.
Yeah, because he's the MCU's version of Batman, right? I thought I heard. Yeah, it was as close as you're going to get. And that's the rumor that I heard, that they were eyeing him for that. And then to see The Rock as Black Adam and see him, what they're going to do with that, that's going to be pretty awesome. Because, I mean, honestly, anything The Rock touches turns to gold.
Yep.
So he might as well play King Midas in it. But I'm excited, but not skeptical. I'm cautious about the next 3 phases of the MCU, just because it's been so good that you're like, God, it's got to fall off at some time, doesn't it? Because it's been so good for so long.
I think it kind of depends on if like Kevin Feige and some of the people who've been running it stick with the company or not. If they start dropping those guys and Disney has to replace them, I think they're going to be in real trouble.
As long as they don't pull a freaking Star Wars and just go off the grid, then
they've been talking about giving Star Wars to Kevin Feige, who runs the MCU side. And I think that would be a very smart idea.
Yeah, definitely.
But then he might not be in front of Marvel, which would be rough.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested to see the new Suicide Squad movie too, to see that come out. Because
Birds of Prey, or
no, the actual
Suicide
Squad. And that's what it's called. It's not called Suicide Squad 2. It's called The Suicide Squad. But it's God, I'm blanking on his name. Who did Guardians of the Galaxy?
James Gunn.
Yes, he's doing Suicide Squad, and that's why Guardians Volume 3 is pushed way out, because he said he needs to finish this first.
Right.
And I thought it was awesome that that the whole cast of Guardians took a stand for him too as well, and wanted him to come back and do the movie. Like we're not going to do it without him.
Yeah. Well, he's the whole style behind that movie. So.
Well, and it's, I don't want to get into it too much, but it's this whole canceled culture that we've gotten into now.
I hear you, brother.
Like, I'll tell you, one of the ones that bothers me is the, I don't know if you've ever watched The Ranch.
Yeah,
on Netflix. Sure. When they let go of Danny Masterson, I'm sorry, but he was never convicted of anything. Right. Like, you can't do that. That's just not the way it's supposed to work. You can't fire him because somebody reported something. If there's no charges or anything, I don't.
Yeah, it's hard, right?
Yeah,
I get it. I'm not arguing.
I really wish he was coming. Did you finish the last season?
My wife watches that show, so I've only seen bits and pieces.
Oh, it's a good show. But I was hoping that he was going to come back like in the last couple of episodes, but they didn't. But that's neither here nor there. That show tanked after that. No, I still liked it. Dizzy. I still liked The Ranch. I thought it was still good. So we've gotten into comic book land and came out the other side. Oh, one more thing. What is your feelings on Leto's Joker?
It was an interesting take, that's for sure. I think it was brave is maybe the word to take him in that direction as he did, and how can you not take him in such a weird direction after what Heath Ledger did? You can't copy that, especially that quickly. So I give him a lot of props for trying. I don't think he was given enough runway in that movie to even try to convince anybody. So it's a little bit of just a bad situation. If you're going to pull that character off, you got to sell it. And he's only in the movie for a short amount. So, and it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. Well, then and according to Leto too, that most of the stuff he did ended up on the cutting room floor. So it's like, how do you know exactly?
He might have been brilliant if we would have given time to actually learn that character.
Like, you're only seeing a bit here and a bit there. You never got any context of him and what he was going for, Right. But I really wish I would have saw him. Like, I know what they did with Joker with Joaquin. I get that, but I would have loved to have seen an actual Joker movie with Leto just to see what he could do with it.
It would have been definitely fun to flush that character out and just see, because it's fun to explore that stuff, especially in comics. They iterate these characters a lot and come at them from different angles. As long as they maintain the spirit of the character, I'm cool with experimenting and giving them different styles.
Oh, absolutely. Did you like Joaquin's Joker?
Yeah, I absolutely love that movie. My only problem with that movie is once they tied it into the Batman universe officially. If you haven't seen it, there's bits with young Bruce Wayne. And given how old he looks in the movie, like, once Bruce Wayne is old enough to actually be Batman, like, Joaquin Phoenix would be like 60s and not be a threat at all.
Right.
That's the only problem I had with that movie. I almost wish they would have left Batman out of it, like, and just showed him going crazy.
Well, it's just, the problem is too, is when you get too many of these things going on, you have way too many different timelines trying to intertwine, into the storyline, and it's like, okay, which way is what? And then you're like, okay, well, I guess we just go to the comic book and go from there, which, I mean, everybody should, but you just kind of wish they would stay true to it as much as possible.
Right.
Because you look at our Batman, that, it was the Joker, before he was the Joker, that killed Bruce's parents, and then you see in this one, it was, one of the people that were going around looting that were just part of the following, so.
But the timeline for me wouldn't be too bad if Phoenix was in his 20s or something, because then, like, by the time 10 years has gone by, and I don't know how old the kid is in the movie, but let's say it's 15 years has to go by, then he's still like in his 30s and he can still be a threat, like, for sure. But he just looks so old in this movie. He's great. His acting isn't amazing. But it's just that was my only real gripe about that movie. But if you take that out of it and just watch him and his performance, it's a brilliant movie.
Oh, absolutely.
But my Joker will always be Mark Hamill.
Oh,
from the animated series.
Yep.
His laugh for the animated series Joker is the greatest thing on the planet.
QP says, well, isn't Joker just a movement and there were multiple Jokers?
I don't know how they'll play that, maybe. But I assume this guy is supposed to be the Joker.
Yeah, because I think that he was the main one that inspired the Joker that we've come to know, like in the actual Batman movies. That's one of the theories I've heard. I really don't know, like, actual Joker's origin story other than the whole thing, like in the original Batman where he was a gangster and fell into the vat of chemicals, you know, and arose the Joker. And...
Well, I think a large part of his mythos for the longest time was that there wasn't an origin story. Like, it's just the psycho came out of nowhere and he is like just as brilliant as Batman, but he's crazy and a psychopath. And that's what I kind of like about the Joker. Like, that was Heath Ledger's Joker, for example. Like, there is no origin story. This guy just exists and he is just chaos. Right. And I really like it to think about the Joker that way. So when you try to throw origin stories in, that's kind of weird for me. But I think this is a one shot. I have a hard time believing they're going to like feed this into some bigger part of the DCU or whatever they're calling the DC version.
Right.
DCU. But it was brilliant. It was really good.
Yeah. Where I think that DC in general missed the mark is that I don't know why they. Yeah, exactly. That was probably the best part of that movie when he said, "Watch me make this amazing. Pencil disappear." But what I think DC messed up and where they missed a big opportunity was that they came out with their own streaming service, which I don't think they're good enough or big enough to have that. And with Disney Plus coming across and taking all the Marvel stuff with them, it left a big hole to where they could have went to Netflix and said, "Let us be there." And I think that would have been the smart move, and it would have been. It doesn't matter that if they would have charged more money, you're going to feel it on the back end if you would have just got the exposure out there. Because
that still happen.
I'm not going to spend. I think it was like $7.99 a month for the DC because I wanted to see Swamp Thing. I know they canceled it after one season, but I wanted to see Swamp Thing. I wanted to see Doom Patrol because that's one of the comics that I collected, you know, way back in the day. But it was one of those things where I'm not going to spend that money for that. You know, it's just it's dumb to do that. And sorry, I keep going off on this, but I really wish they would release the Snyder cut of whatchamacallit. Oh, Jesus Christ, why can't I think today? Justice League.
Oh yeah.
I want to see the full cut of that movie because they said they cut more than an hour out of it.
Oh, they reshot some stuff too. So like it's just the studio's meddling, and I don't like that. Like, you hired the guy to do something. You knew what you were getting with Snyder. Like, just let him do his thing. And I mean, no matter what it is, it'll be better than whatever Frankenstein thing you try to cut the movie into later if you're not happy with it. So just let him do it. And I mean, we'll never see it, but I would like to.
I still haven't watched the full cut of Batman vs Superman because I heard that was a lot better than the original movie, what they did with it too.
Yeah, it feels like a half hour of movie, so there's a decent amount of scenes in there that kind of fill in some of the stuff. It's better than what it was. I mean, it's hot garbage, but it's better than what it was.
Yeah.
I think, cut.
If everybody out there, if they want to start putting up questions that you have for AMP, that'd be great. We're going to keep talking here, and we'll get to those questions as they come up. Rebel says he just wants a Legion of Doom movie. That'd be interesting.
Let's go. I'll watch it.
And I think I heard, like, the rumor did I hear that Victor Von Doom is going to be in the next Spider-Man movie?
I've heard that whisper as well, that they might reintroduce him somewhere in there.
That would be interesting to see how they do that. Like, is he just going to pop in as Dr. Doom, or are they going to give a little bit of backstory?
It'll probably just be like a cameo in the background before he becomes Doom. Like, oh, hey, Doctor, how are you? Working on something cool.
Right. Something like that. And the next thing you know, it's going to be later on. But I am excited to see. I haven't watched Venom because I heard mixed things about it, and I wasn't going to go to the theater to see it. So I
that's one I haven't watched either.
I need to see it now because I know it's out on cable, so I can watch it. I can watch it for free at home. But from the things that I've heard for Venom 2 is my biggest, I guess you could say, villain is Carnage, and he's gonna be in Venom 2, and I hope that they do it right. I hope they do it right. I love Woody Harrelson as the alter ego of Carnage, but we'll see what happens with the movie. But it's supposed to come out, I think, toward the end of this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this year sometime.
Yeah. So
and some people that I follow that know a lot about things in the industry, they are super excited for Venom 2, which is weird because Venom 1 did not do well. Well, I mean, it made some money, but
right.
Critically, people were like, eh.
Well, for what the one thing that I heard consistently from people about Venom was that it started out as one movie, and then when they got toward the end, it was kind of like they didn't know how to end it, so they kind of moved into another direction that was like, huh?
Yeah, so, I also have not watched it, but that is also what I've heard.
Right. Okay, we got some questions. I'm going to combine QP and Brose's into one because it says, what's the toughest part of having triplets? And Brose says, how did it feel to go from 1 kid to 4 kids in such a short amount of time?
So I'll plug the Smitty Dicks podcast I did, episode 1. So if you go to my YouTube channel, there's a playlist. And I actually tell this story in a longer format, but it was a shock. So yeah, we had one and we were like, well, we'd like to have a second child because we just feel like that's where we want to be. And we ended up with 3. So the day I learned that was happening, that was the first and only time that I've been in physical shock. I don't like parts of that day are gone. Going back and thinking of the symptoms I've had and reading what physical shock does to you, like I had it. I just didn't know it. Like I drove 45 minutes into work that day and don't remember anything until I get there. And it's a mind fuck. It's just, you can't prepare for it, but you got to do, and you do it. And it's super busy and it's super hard. And I think I'd never averaged more than 2 hours at any given time in a row of sleep for the first 3 months, because by the time you start feeding them and the last one's done, it's been like over an hour. And then the first one wakes up 2 hours after it's been fed. They eat every 2 hours. So like you get like 45 minutes of sleep if you're lucky between feeding. So it's hard. It's really, really hard, but you do it. And my wife is amazing. So without her, we wouldn't have done it.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: is like, when did it, I guess, start feeling? When did life get to be, I guess we'll say, some sort of normal?
I don't know if normal is a thing anymore. So like if you've raised kids, every so many years there's a new something gets better, but then something gets worse, right? Like you're dealing with something like when they're really young, they're super dependent, and they can't go, they'll die if you don't pay attention to them. So every ounce of energy goes into that. Then later they can kind of take care of themselves, but they can't talk. So it gets super frustrating because you can't communicate. Then they can communicate, but they won't shut up. They won't, like it's still super needy. Right. And they learn to lie. And then so now you're dealing with this, and like, it never really stops. But I mean, as they slowly get older, it gets, and they can fend for themselves a little more. It gets a little easier, but it's a lot. You just one day at a time.
I guess I shouldn't have said normal, and I'm sorry, that didn't mean to make it that.
No offense.
What I meant is like, when did things like subside to where you're like, okay, we can maintain this, and you're not going, oh my god, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, no offense at all. I didn't take it like that, but never. Like it's always just like we just 1 hour at a time, one day at a time, and it's always crazy. Like we get about a couple hours every night once they go to bed, and we have a very strict bedtime,
right?
Like very strict, and that's our time to unwind. And like I get to stream, play video games. The wife will read or watch shows or whatever, and she plays a lot of Witcher 3, and we just do it one day at a time, and that's it.
Now,
it's hard.
Do you guys ever stream gameplay together, playing anything?
No, we have not tried any of that yet, but I would be down for it if she ever wanted to.
Well, that's when you got.
She's really big into crafting. Oh, I didn't wear it. So if you've seen my merch shirt that I released this week, she did the prototype crafting with crickets. So she does a lot of that, and I've been slowly prodding her to like start a blog up with all her cricket stuff because she's super, super good at that stuff.
Right.
But nope. Most of the time we just unwind.
Nice.
Relax.
Brose says, "What's your Overwatch main for each role?"
So I am mostly support. I spend the vast majority of my time playing support, and I lately have been playing nothing but Mora and Baptiste. I played a ton of Anna. When I first started way back in the day, I was Mercy, but I haven't played her in a long time. So mostly Mora. I think I go hardest in the paint with Mora right now. Then on tank, it's the hamster for sure. I go crazy with the hamster. It's my favorite. He's off tank, but it's what I got. So if you need me to tank, I can go crazy with hamster. And then DPS, I have not been playing hardly at all, but Tracer's my jam if I get to play.
Nice. Brose also asks, other than crap servers, what is both of your opinions on the new season of Apex?
I really enjoy it. The new character is super nutty. I think his ult is not worth it unless you really coordinate, but his Q and his ability to climb really high has actually come in really really handy for me. I like the new map. I like it breaks it up and there's not as much dead space for you to get caught in. And I don't know. Apex is a huge love-hate relation. I have hundreds of hours into it right now, and the net code and the servers have been garbage since day one, but it is by far the best style and the best fun I've had in like a BR style game because it's so fast and you don't wait in lobbies and stuff. So I can't get away from the game. I play it a ton. But the net code is pure garbage, and Respawn needs to fix it, but they won't because they're making money hand over fist.
Now, myself, Rose, I played it here and there before this season. I started picking up a little bit more in season 3, and I more towards the end, and I wasn't going to spend the money on the battle pass, and because it was like towards the tail end. So I did buy the battle pass for season 4, and other than the lag, I've had a blast playing it. I've gotten frustrated with people the way they play sometimes, but like you're playing with blueberries. It's tough because they freaking go off, and next thing you're like, okay, let's go here, and you drop, and then they signify okay, and then you go to drop, and then they go somewhere else, and you're like, what the fuck? You're already on that line.
The most amount of fun we've had lately is we have to squad up with people we know. So we've done a couple groups inside of Support Force, and then I have a couple guys from work and stuff that we play, and I rarely go into Apex without a full team of people to play with.
Right, Crown. That's exactly what Amp was saying though before. Is like you got to coordinate that alt the right way. And I think if you know where there's somebody's going to be, you drop that alt behind a wall or something and just go charging in there. It'll play nice. But you, like you said, you got to use it right. You got to coordinate it right. But it is lethal when it's used right. But I played a lot of Revenant because I've only unlocked 2 legends, and that was I unlocked Caustic, and I unlocked because with the battle pass coins, I unlocked Caustic before this season, and then I unlocked Octane, and I unlocked Revenant so I could play him because I wanted to do the new gameplay with it.
Octane's a lot of fun,
and I've played Revenant a lot, and I like it. I like his gameplay style a lot. It's just a matter of getting used to it. I especially love like when you're crouched and you move almost as fast as when you're standing straight up.
You move faster a little bit. I was crouched behind a rock and I was trying to take cover and I was healing and I pushed to the right and I'm not used to how fast it is. I just went right out and got headshot because I was not used to it moving so fast. So
right,
that little ability is kind of crazy.
Right. Brose says, or Crown says, Witcher 3 greatest game ever. I haven't played it, so I can't comment on that. But
she's on her 6th or 7th playthrough probably now.
Oh, Jesus.
We own both expansion packs.
Okay. Brose says, are you into any tabletop games? If so, favorite of all time?
I guess that depends on how you define tabletop games. If it's like D&D or Shadowrun, like true tabletop, Battletech, I've always wanted to play those, and every group I've ever been in has fallen apart before we got started. I would probably pick Shadowrun because I love cyberpunk stuff. I'm a big cyberpunk type dude. If it's just standard board games, we have tons of those. We play those. I'm actually looking at, I have the setup almost planned out. I have to buy a couple pieces, which is why it hasn't happened yet. but we're going to start streaming every other Saturday or something, a board game night with a group of people that come over. Lately, that's such a big question for normal board games because it just depends on how big and how small you want to get them. So like super small, super fast, Love Letter is one of the best things you can ever play. Super big, Gloomhaven is probably the best thing I've played in a long time if you haven't played that, but that takes like an hour to set it up and it takes a really long time to play through it. Clank is in the middle. Like that's a super fun game we've been playing a lot lately. And I bought something called Clink Legacy, which will probably be the game we start the streams playing. So that we could go on for a long time. But if you're looking for some good recommendations, Clink is right in the middle, and that is a super fun and easy, approachable game.
Yeah, I just go to the old board games. That's really what I do. Board games and card games. That's what me and my family play. And it'd be interesting to be able to set up an actual stream for that and stream my family playing board games. If I could get my brother-in-law over and his wife and my mother and father-in-law and stream Pictionary when we play that.
that could be some entertainment.
Oh my God, it is ridiculous the hilarity that ensues from that game with those people, because my freaking brother-in-law is notorious for going, "Oh my God, you overthought that. You drew all this. This is how you should have drew it." And he draws it out, and it's like, "Oh my God, dude, it's over. Forget it."
That's the whole point of the pressure. Is it's hard to think. I would be remiss if I don't bring up this. One of our family favorites, because the kids can play it, and Brose, if you're listening to this one, because you're going to love it. It's called Lost Woods.
Oh.
And so it is, you start off in a camp, and it's a tile laying game. So as you go north, south, east, west, you pick up one of those tiles and flip it over, and you create the map as you go. And as you walk through each tile, you either find monsters or you pick up loot. And whoever finds their way out of the woods first with the most amount of gold at the end wins. So given your whole motif with the Lost Woods thing, or being in the woods, don't get lost in the woods, like it's called Lost Woods, and it is a really good game. Super solid, easy, approachable.
Oh man, that should be a game, Brose, for you. You could stream that too with some friends.
Oh, Exploding Kittens is awesome, especially if you're playing the not safe for work version.
I've not played Exploding Kittens. I've played What Do You Meme? I played that. Of course, Cards Against Humanity. I actually have. I bought it, and it was only available. It was from the UK, so it took like 8 weeks for me to get it. But I bought Cards Against Disney, which
I've not heard of that, but that sounds awesome.
That is amazing because it makes you think of Disney in a whole different way.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because one of them was just like sitting on Pinocchio's face as he tells lies and stuff like that. It was just like, oh my God, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, the beautiful thing about Cards Against Humanity, guys, is that's all open IP. So they give you the template and the rules, and you can actually print the whole game off for free and distribute it however you want. They won't sue you. So you can make your own games out of it and everything. Like, it's super cool. Those guys are super cool.
Right. Hey, Spectre Cactus.
Yeah.
I said, Spectre, we're half expected to see you pop your head into to Amp's camera. Since he said
I would have been thinking about it, I would have had you come over and like accidentally pop in and cameo.
That would have been awesome to just be like, "What? You live? He's by you?" But yeah, I play a lot of those kind of games, Brose. That's what my family and I play. Is that we play Farkle. We actually play golf with cards.
Yep,
and that's fun. But it's not like golf like they do on like the computer though. It's like you have 6 cards facing down, and then you flip over one, and there's the pickup pile in the middle, and you could either pick up from whatever somebody lays down, or you pick up from the deck, but you have to switch out a card and you have to flip that over, and it's the values of the cards are face value, except for like aces are zeros, but if you get 2 aces, then it's a -1. So you want to hit the low score, just like in golf.
Sure.
So it's fun. My daughter actually plays it up in college now and taught it like all of her friends. Because one day she FaceTimed my wife and I, was just like, "Wait a minute. So what are aces worth again?" So we had to kind of explain it to her in that. So
that's fun. She took that with her.
Yeah.
She's propagating it.
Yeah, bro. I used to play Farkle on Facebook too, Brose. But I'm a sucker for like Phase 10, Rummy. Like I love playing card games. I really do. That's like my favorite thing to do. I even have Phase 10 dice, which
Oh,
is fun to play. I used to play that at work all the time, and Monopoly Deal. So, oh, and have you seen like the new Monopolies that are out now?
I have PTSD from Monopoly or PSTD, whatever it is. So I have not played a Monopoly game in 20 years.
They have speed version of Monopoly. They have the cheaters version of Monopoly now, and then they
Isn't that
have
every version?
yeah, and then they have Miss Monopoly, where women run the game.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, what happened to just playing Monopoly? That's just all you need. Like the whole, like I loved playing Monopoly with my daughter because it taught her value of money, and it also taught her to count too, and add numbers and everything together. So, Rabble, what animal would Amped be and why?
Honey badger. So I don't give a fuck.
If anybody didn't know what that was coming after he said honey badger, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a meerkat, and I have no idea why.
So you could just pop your head up and
Yep. I'm trying to think of some kind of animal that would be chaotic neutral, because that's kind of where I feel like I sit in the spectrum. So
like an angry Switzerland.
maybe yes.
Oh man, no, that's awesome. Oh, what the hell? I was going to say something else too, and I just lost it. Oh, and my brain has been shit the last week. I've been forgetting stuff left and right. What are your goals for the upcoming year for you personally?
Like stream related,
Yeah.
or because anything outside of that's just survival.
Yeah. Raise my kids not to be an
stream-related-
asshole.
Yeah, that's a goal. Stream related, I kind of had 3 major things I wanted to accomplish this year, and 2 of them I've already kind of started. One, I wanted to get like kind of the merch store running, because lots of people do that, and I like my logo and I think it's cool, and so I'm trying to get some simple merch to buy or hand out or something. 2, I wanted to get a little Discord community thing running, which I've been working on that, and we got a handful of people in a little Discord. Just to have a little place of our own to chat and talk about comic books and things like that, and game, whatever. I mean, just whatever we want.
Right.
And then I am planning on making a kind of landing page / squeeze page, like an actual site. So I own amp.com, the 4mp3d.com, and kind of making a landing site that brings all of this stuff I've been doing kind of together. So the different podcasts, maybe have a little blog on there, I'm not sure. A way to pull in emails, because I think getting an email list that's outside of Twitch and isn't the only way I can really email people is if they're subscribed to me, which that fluctuates, and if people drop off that list, I don't think they get the emails anymore.
Right.
So I'd like to find a way to like get everybody into one portal that shoots them at my YouTube, at my socials, at my Twitch. Gives them a list of events, so like when I do things like this, they can follow a little easier, and then maybe help digest some emails into a list where if I need to update people, like, hey, this is what we're going to be doing, or if you want to get in on this, or maybe do a giveaway or something, I can email the whole list, and they don't necessarily have to be on one of the platforms. Or if I switch platforms, I can take that list with me, and
Right.
I don't know. So those are kind of my 3 major goals, and then I definitely am planning at some time this year to do kind of not a rebranding, but right now I'm just running a basic overlay that I bought for like $20 off Nerd or Die or something. And I'd like to get a custom thing, and I have some good ideas, and I've been sketching them out and working on them. And then I'm going to try to find somebody to help me like really kind of make those look plops bluey.
Right. That's awesome. Those are some really good goals to have. Brose says, one food for the rest of your life, every single meal.
Oof. Probably fried chicken. KFC or something. Like, I love fried chicken. I'm a huge fan of fried chicken.
Nice. Mine
I have
still,
lots of favorite foods, but that's I can do that every day.
my standby still is a nice steak, mashed potatoes and gravy and corn. I could eat that for the rest of my life, all day,
Sure.
every day. That's what I enjoy. So do you see yourself staying with Twitch, or do you see yourself maybe entertaining the idea of going to another platform?
I'm not married to Twitch, but I haven't put any real thought into moving. I know a lot of people, especially not really when Ninja moved, but I saw a lot of people when Shroud moved. They had decided to jump ship to Mixer, which I think is a good move. Mixer is a good platform and stuff, but I don't know. I don't think the platform really matters. I guess it depends on how you look at yourself. Are you part of the platform, or are you selling yourself as the brand?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're selling yourself as the brand, then you will find the audience you need no matter what platform you're on, and then it's just a matter of that platform working.
Right.
It's a big gamble one way or the other, because when it comes to, and I'm sure you know this being on D Live and stuff, like it's a struggle of, do I go where all the people are, but I also have to fight against the most amount of people,
Mm-hmm.
or do I go someplace that has a lot less people, but maybe it'll be easier to bring those people in, and like it's just hard. So mostly I've just been focusing right now on trying to brand myself and get me out there, and then just see if I can find that following. I'm never going to be good enough at games to like get that crowd in. Like I can't
Right.
beat Shroud, and so I just got to rely on whatever God gave me here and just
The money
try to bring
maker.
people in. Yeah, I think I'll probably end up doing a lot more, less gaming over the years and more like the podcast stuff. I'd like to do a lot more of that type of content, and then maybe making some like official YouTube videos about topics and things. I'd like to get into more of that, and I'll still game and stream that. But I think like my ideal would be to get more content on YouTube. And I think Alpha Gamer, like a lot of people have recommended him. He says this too, where like you have these funnels that bring them into your stream. I'd like to do more content on like YouTube or something, get people there, and in like my Discord and working with that, and then have those people come in and hang out with me while I stream a couple times a week. I like that formula, and I would like to get there, but that's going to take a while.
No,
and then from there, I could be on any platform if I'm doing that, I think.
Yeah. No, Harris is an awesome resource for anything related to streaming and just the business aspect of it and whatnot, too. I watch a lot of his videos. No, the switch for me was that, I was still low on Twitch, and I was only like at 120 followers. And when I heard about D Live, it was that was when PewDiePie signed on to stream there before he took his hiatus that he's on right now.
Yep.
But my one buddy, and this is exactly what I told Rabble, and when he switched, is that he told me, he's like, do you want to be the small fish in the ocean, or would you rather be a medium fish in a lake?
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, let's be the medium fish in the lake. What do I got to lose? It's not like I have like 1,500 followers, on Twitch, and I'm partnered and all this stuff, and I'm making this move. Right. Where like Ninja and all them, where they get like deals to go switch platforms. Mine was just, let's try something different, and I couldn't been happier with the response that I've got.
Yeah, no, I think that's a super smart idea. I just don't. For me personally, I don't think I'm in any place to have anybody watch. I'm just still trying to learn what I'm doing. So I started on Twitch. If I would have seen D Live first, I might have started there because I'm a huge fan of like crypto, and I know they do like weird blockchain stuff in the background, which is super cool. But I like where I'm at. I think D Live is a great platform. I definitely wouldn't mind switching to it, but it's right now I'm just going to stay where I'm at.
Well, Rabble will tell you, Team Yellow would love to have you. But no, I mean, one of the things that Rabble actually told me too that I liked, comparing it to like Twitch, and you really can't compare it to Mixer, but I guess it goes along the same ways, is that he likes it that a follower, somebody, a member of his community in his stream, can pay $10 to give your streamer $9, basically. Whereas you have to spend $10 for the streamer to get $5 on Twitch.
Yep. And
I never really thought of it that way, because he's the business mind, of course, and he'll tell you that all day long. But it was like, yeah, you're right. I mean, that sucks for, a viewer that wants to support you, and it's not all about money. No, is it nice? Right. Yeah, it's nice, but the fact that somebody has to spend $10 in order for you to get $5, that kind of sucks. I get it, because that's how they make money in that, but it still sucks.
Right.
Whereas that's where the blockchain comes in, because they can make money on the back end with interest and everything else with people banking stuff. But it'll be interesting to see April 15th when everything goes live with BitTorrent now for D Live. So
yeah, I'll be watching that. I'll be interested. I think one thing that'll keep me stuck to Twitch for a little bit too is I have a lot of friends and family that I've begged and pleaded to get in there, and getting them to sign up for another platform will be a slog. So,
well, hey, the nice thing is they can use their Twitch logon for D Live.
That's true.
That's what I did.
I guess that's absolutely true.
Rebel says, is there any suggestion for the future of SupForce that you could see?
Oh man, that is a great question. I don't know. One thing I would like to see as one of the Twitch guys is Twitch team. I think it'd be nice to have a SupForce Twitch team, which I know we don't have any, what are the partner levels. You guys have started one here. I thought I saw on D Live, right?
Yeah, we have one on D Live, and there's one on Mixer too as well.
Oh, nice. So as one of the Twitch guys, I think that would be really fun to see. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just happy to be here, I guess.
Right.
It's hard for me to, I don't have any privy into the inner workings of the managers or anything like that. I just try to participate where I can. The growth has been great. The people have been great. The lack of drama has been pretty great. I just like to see real meaningful engagement on things too. So I don't know how you promote that,
right?
Versus, so don't get me wrong, I love all the lurks and everything like that, but getting meaningful engagement out of people would be fun to see. That sounded really bad, but I just mean when you come in and you chat and you actually hang out for a while. I like that a lot more, and I don't know how to promote that because it's hard to know.
Yeah.
Maybe something along that lines. I don't know. It's great. I love being here. I don't really have anything too much other than that.
Rebel, I agree with you. I have less fear in it now as well too, as I've seen the way things have started to develop with D Live, and I mean, quite honestly, too, Rebel, is that there's a big void left here in D Live where there's really not because Zonda, which is a big name, and his wife, I think, or girlfriend, Flo, they've kind of skipped and gone off to Mixer. Some people have jumped ships, some big names have jumped ship, and it's just okay, there's a big void now to take over, and that, so it's the world is your oyster.
Any impact from Owen Benjamin joining the?
From what?
D Live, Owen Benjamin. You know, he's a comedian. He was a big comedian there for a little while. He joined. He got deplatformed on YouTube, and he does podcasts all the time. He's on the platform. And I know he's been getting thousands of people watching him on D Live. I didn't know if anybody had heard or seen, or if that made any waves in your community or not.
Yeah, he's got 18K. He's not global partnered yet. I just saw that. Interesting. I'm following so I can see when he goes.
I don't know if he would pursue that because most of his engagement is through outside patronage, but he needed a new place to put his live stream. So
right. Gotcha. Okay, QP. Okay. Philly wants to know, how much snow have you had to deal with ever? I would say at one time.
At one time, I don't know. So we live pretty far north, 45th parallel level north, and I have had standing snow in the yard has been over 3 feet. We've definitely had multiple feet drop over a single night. There were times when I was young that we would slide off the roof onto a snowbank. So we'd use the whole roof as the sledding platform. I don't know. We've had so much snow. The snow isn't really the problem. It's when it turns ice and does weird things like that. So a handful of years ago, it was 90 degrees one weekend. And then the next Friday, was it Friday? We got just 3 feet of just super wet snow, and it knocked power out for 3 months in the surrounding area. That night I was actually bringing live our first major data center, and we were working and came out in the middle of the night, and all of a sudden there's 3 feet of just concrete snow, and power was out everywhere. We're like, oh snap, because we were in a brick building, we couldn't see outside for hours.
So now in something like that, do you have a plow, or do you have a four-wheeler with a plow on the end of it? or do you have a massive snow thrower that you know?
I have a snow thrower.
Yeah.
So I used to have a little walk behind, and then I upgraded to a tractor with a plow on it, and we did that for 2 years. It was okay, and then this last year I went and got the full-fledged like big old snow blower on the front of my tractor. So
right.
It takes me like 20 minutes to do the driveway now instead of 2 hours, which is nice.
How much land do you have? I'm interested in that.
I live in a sub, but I have
okay.
I have like 0.8 acres. When I say tractor, I mean lawn tractor, like a Craftsman. Like,
okay,
it's a decent sized one, but it's not like a big Kubota tractor or something.
Gotcha.
But I live on just under an acre inside like a subdivision just outside of the city.
Right. Mrs. Rebel wants to know, what is your favorite thing about SupForce?
This, I love the support, so to speak. Like, it's really cool that you guys do this featured creator stuff, and like you like new people come in and you're shouting them out constantly and trying to funnel people into new, because I mean that was half the reason I stuck with this, is when I came back and really tried, you guys all came out and was like, oh, we got this new guy, and not inflated, but like really came in and showed some support, which could show you what you could do here. And it really is a supportful family attitude when you're in the Discord and stuff. Everybody's super cordial, and people ask questions. It's really easy. You go in like, hey, I'm trying this. Does anybody else do it? And there's always 5 other people like, yeah, have you tried this? Have you looked at this? Like today we were talking about merch stores, and everybody had all sorts of good ideas. I'm writing them all down like, oh, I haven't seen that one yet. I got to check that one. So
that's awesome. Well, and I say this all the time. Whenever I talk about SupForce, I say it every single time, is you get out of SupForce what you put in. So if you're going to put in the effort and support people and be there for them, then you're going to get that back. You'll get it back tenfold, because people will see how genuine you are. And that, compared
to something like, for 5 seconds I looked into LurkForce. I'm sure everybody has seen those type of things. Or what was that Royal one?
Oh, Royal Streamers. I bet I was in that for a while.
Yeah, and it's kind of almost toxic. Like, it doesn't, like, it is, there's no legitimate actual support in those at all. Like, no. I joined the LurkForce team for literally 5 seconds. I didn't do anything with it, and all of a sudden there was a guy in my chat screaming at me for not lurking back, and I'm like, okay, unjoin team, like instantly. I'm like, right. That's not anything I want to be a part of. And I've never had anything like that here. Like, people are just always happy to see you. If you can show up, you can show up.
Right.
Like, you're not getting in trouble. Like, where on those platforms you almost get penalized for not like playing their system.
Yeah.
This isn't a system. This is us trying to build our own brands and working with other people building their brands to get help when we need it. And that's what you see here a lot more than.
Oh, absolutely. No, it's a great community. It's a great platform, and I think that the founders, when they started this, they had the right idea and they stuck with it, and that's the good thing to see. Because a lot of times with communities like this, is they have a set way that they come out and they want it to be, but then all of a sudden things happen and it just starts turning for the worse. Oh, yeah. And this is not at all. I mean, we're getting close to that 1 year mark. It's going to be here before we know it, and it's still the same. I mean, not the same as in we haven't done anything new, but it's the same basic principles of SupForce are still alive today. They have not faltered one bit, which, at least from when I've joined, it's been solid. Right. And you see, we have now, we are at 441 members right now. And when you get Discords that start getting up that high, they tend to splinter, and the next thing you know, it's just gone. Yep. But it's amazing that it's held together and it's strong. It's not like, ooh, we're teetering on the edge there. No, it's strong. It's a strong foundation that you could say at the foundation of it is, you could say it's everybody, but it's really the founders and that are the foundation of this, that brought forth the values and that we hold dear and that we upheld as a community. And I mean, it's easy. It's easy stuff, yep. Man. No drama. Totally agree. Do your thing and go for it. It's just awesome. Rabble. Oh, it's not a problem. I love doing these podcasts. I love getting to know people. Like, I talk to Amp here and there, but getting to know him here, it's just like, that's why I love these. I love doing these pods, and that's why I do them like I could do, where I don't have a script and I just talk, because like I said, we get off on a tangent and start talking about stuff. Well, guess what? That's like we're sitting around just bullshitting, you know. Like I came over and hung out, and this is what it would be, you know, and that's what I want it to be, is like a hang. So
I'll agree with that, though. I thank you for these. I've watched a handful of these since I've joined the group, and when I can, and they are super great.
And Brose and Rabble and everybody else who's been trying, I will talk to my wife and make sure she comes out to more of these, because they still say that their favorite one is mine that I was interviewed on, that Rabble interviewed me, not because of me at all, not because of what I had to say. It was that my wife gave me so much shit on there and they loved it. They said they said that that's the best part of that one, was because she just gave me so much shit, and see, Brose, Mrs. Rabble and Brose both, yes. So I will talk to her and see if I can get her at least in the beginning, because she goes to bed early because of work in the morning. So yeah, she did roast my ass very well.
I love it.
Well, Amped, I don't think we have any more. Is there any more questions out there that anybody else has? Please feel free to go ahead and ask them, and we will get to them. If not, oh yeah, do a talk show with her for an hour. I think you'd want more. I will see what I can do. She doesn't like to be on camera, but we'll see what we can do for it. Ant, would you go ahead and say a few parting words to everybody, and we'll let everybody go and do their thing.
Sure. I'll keep it simple. Most of the people watching are from SupForce. I love you guys. You've been amazing. I really appreciate everything you've done for me and entertaining my hobby here that I've enjoyed so much to do. I look forward to doing more of it and helping support all of you when I can. If I can answer questions, I'm in Discord all the time trying to help where I can. And if anybody's not following me yet, check me out on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram. You guys have literally destroyed my phone with Instagram alerts this week. Loving all my posts. So just keep up the support, and I'm going to try to too. And I love everybody.
Brose did ask one question, and I'll answer my side, but I'll let you answer first. Is, do you use any beard oils?
Yes, I do. So I have an extensive kit. I even keep some of it on my desk. This is a beard brush, a boar hair beard brush. If you go to my Twitch, there's a whole list of those you can buy, the ones I use. And I like the one that's from the Bearded Bastard called the Woodsman. It smells like cedar chips. The ladies really like it. And by ladies, I mean my wife.
As you can see, I'm growing it back out now again. I did get some oil from freshbeards.com. My cousin uses it, and my wife said that his beard feels really soft, and told me that if I wanted to try it, I could. So I bought beard oil and some beard balm. Mine's not long enough yet to start using a brush and everything, but the first day I shaved and everything, then I started using it immediately as soon as I got out of the shower, and I can honestly feel a difference. It feels good. It's not as coarse as it is. The funny thing, though, is what makes me feel weird is I know it's growing the same rate, but it doesn't feel like it's as long because I think it's so soft, But I do like it, and it's nice. I got the scent called Blacklight, and it's more of like a cologne smell.
Gotcha.
So that's what I got to start out with. I'll probably try other ones later, but. That's what
my beard just smells like it shoved your face in a pile of cedar wood chips.
Nice. Well, everybody, I appreciate the support. I appreciate everyone coming out and supporting this great man over here, Amped. He's an amazing guy. Again, please hit up if you can out there, Brose and QP, go ahead and put those socials out again for Amped, so that people can click on them and follow them. Remember, everybody, in SupForce, you get an extra 25% boost for following, liking, participating, subbing, whatever you want to do for his channels. You get an extra boost for that. So please, please, please make sure you hit him up on all those. When's your next stream going to be, bud?
I actually might stream after this.
Nice.
If you get 1 million channel points on my stream, I'll give you a $50 gift card.
Oh, there you go. So make sure you hit him up here. He's going to stream right after this. So go over there and see him. Twitch.tv/4MP3D. and hit him up and show him the love that Support Force can give to him. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, remember that happiness is a state of mind, peace, love, and financial security. All if you're going to have sex, wear a condom, help control the pet population, have your pet spayed or neutered. And remember, as always, stay blessed. Have a great night, everybody. Good job, buddy.
Thanks. That was super fun. I really enjoyed that.
It's always fun, man. Like I said, I love having conversations with people. That's what I enjoy most. You know, like I said, one of the guys I listen to all the time, he's a comedian named Bert Kreischer. And I love his podcast because all they are is just like this. He's just sitting there and they'll go off on tangents and everything else. And he doesn't ever have an agenda. You know, he just wants to get to know somebody and find stuff that they have in common and talk about it, you know. And that's what I love about it. Yes, Crown, I see that. I will download it as soon as I hit stop recording. Don't worry.
The Taskmaster.
No, it's... Oh, and we were talking about games, and he was talking about they had a party for Chinese New Year, and one of the things is to give kids, like, crisp, brand new $1 bills. So they were playing... I'm sure you've played it. You played Spoons before?
Oh, yeah, sure.
He was literally throwing like $50 on the table and whoever won the game of Spoons would get it. I'm like, could you imagine playing a game of Spoons? And
I think you lose a lot of skin on your hand.
He said the last one they did, he threw $150 down in ones on the table. I was like, oh my God, elbows would be throwing left and right.
That's a full-on fight.
Oh man, no, I was like, oh, that'd be amazing.
Nice emote, Crown.
I would definitely have to throw some elbows, I think, for that.
Oh yeah, I'd go in for $150. Hey, look, kids. Stone aside.
This is adult time. You're gonna get hurt if you keep here. No, it was fun though. No, dude, I didn't realize that you were such a comic book guy. And that's why I was excited to start talking about, because I don't, like I said, I don't follow the comic books as much, but I love the actual comic book superheroes and talking about the movies and stuff. And
my wife laughs at me because I have all those comic books and I haven't read most of them. I mostly like to collect them.
Right.
But I do stay up on a lot of the lore, and I watch a lot of it. I have read several of them, especially
right.
Yeah, comic books has been a passion for a long time.
Right. Okay.
I definitely made the podcast go by quickly being able to talk about that.
Yeah. This episode was brought to you by Support Force.